once something's important to you, it never leaves your mind. If you always dreamt about being a singer-songwriter and you never did it, you will be haunted by that at the age of 70 because it's still right here, stored in the back of your mind. It's something that's meant for you, that's trying to call to you. You see, your dreams, you either pursue them or they fucking haunt you.
And welcome to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. I am Shanrae, and we are on week two of activating your 2024. Last week, we talked about the laws of attraction, and we broke down RAS, the Reticular Activative System. This week, we're going to continue with the RAS, but we're going to be talking about this will Lord, it just slipped my mind. But this week we're going to be talking about how we're going to motivate. We're going to motivate ourselves and how we're going to focus on ourselves again. So let's start with my website disclaimer. And again, welcome to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. I am Shanrae. Please be aware that due to the nature of the technology I'm using, there can be no assurance of confidentiality when using this online service. Should also be noted that due to changes in policies, that all replies are to be used as advisory and informational only and will not constitute an official determination. Information provided by me are subject to the limitations of current and available material, but the final responsibility for successfully achieving a goal rests with you. Information online is designed to be helpful. However, this information changes frequently. And it is recommended that you consult another physician, another specialist, and or another religious leader to aid you in your overall behavioral wellness. All right, so I am a Degreed counselor. I acquired a dual degree from Ashford University. My dual degree is in psychology and organizational management. My great passion is bringing healing to people who have been through traumatic or stressful experiences. And we all know that whenever we experience trauma or severe life stresses, it's not uncommon for us to feel like our life is unraveling. But I help clients who include children, adults, and families to find healthy perceptions of themselves and for them to help strengthen their relationships so they can know themselves as peaceful, complete, whole, and safe. All right, so I'm a Christian counselor. But because I'm a Christian counselor, it doesn't mean that I try to force that on anyone else. I do not do that. That's just my belief. And so the scriptures that I'm using probably for the entire year is going to come from Ephesians 4:23, the NIV version, and it says to be made new in the attitude of your mind. Okay, now let's move on to our key points for tonight because this 30 minutes is going to go and come very quickly, and I want to stay within that time frame. So tonight we're going to be talking about, I'm sorry, I just knew I was moving this along with me. All right. Tonight I'm going to be talking about improving well-being with creativity. Creativity, and all of that stems from, a lot of that stems from here and here in your mind. All right. So improving well-being with creativity. The origins of creativity, and then we have our takeaway and our quote for tonight. So let's get started. This is an open platform. I want to say good evening to my Facebook family. I'm looking different ways because I'm watching on my phone as well. So good evening to my YouTube family. Good evening to my Twitter family. Good evening to my Facebook family. And good evening to my Instagram family that are watching. All right. This is an open forum. If you have any questions, or if you want to share any life scenarios, please feel free to put it in the comments here. I will pause and I will highlight what you're saying, or I will answer your question to the best of my ability. All right. Improve well-being by being creative. All right, by being creative. And this is how our well-being can become more improved, by being creative. This is by Dr. Brandon Hallen. Okay, by Dr. Brandon Hallen, Hallin. So he says that creativity is a simple practice proven to reduce stress and anxiety while promoting well-being. So it encompasses a broad range of activities. So it is not the form of creativity that matters, okay? But it's the expression of your uniqueness to the world. So, and he also coupled with what his research with Dr. Wendy Suzuki, who is a neuroscience and psychology professor at the New York University Center for Neuroscience, and that she advocates for creativity. All right, that's what we're going to be talking about this week, creativity. All right, so Dr. Wendy highlights its roles in promoting flexibility, openness, and a desire to learn how to grow. And so creativity activates brain regions which involve rationality, emotional control, and problem solving skills. And this is crucial for managing stress. Hi, Helen. How are you? So good to see you tonight. Oh, my goodness. And Sarai, your baby, is her birthday. Oh, my goodness. I already wished her happy birthday. And so Dr. Wendy talks about how creativity is crucial for managing stress and understanding fears and anxieties and fostering greater well-being. I'm going to pause right here for 1 minute. And again, the type of creativity that Dr. Wendy and Dr. David are talking about, Dr. Brandon has researched. They're talking about just fun creativity, nothing that matters like a professional artist or a professional poet or anything like that. Just fun creativity. I know I like whenever I go out of town, and I go and spend time with my sisters and brothers, my God-given sisters and brothers. When we go to Texas, whenever we get together, we have a regimen that we do. Like a lot of times I'll try to go find something, the newest thing that's happening in the city out there in Houston. And the whole weekend, we will have the whole weekend sewed up. One of the times that we went to paint and sip. And we all went as it was 6 of us, 3 couples. It was the 6 of us. We went to paint and sip, and we all created. It was a couples paint and sip, and we just had fun with it. And then we went to Top Golf. Oh my gosh! Now I'm not a real sports fan. I'm not a sports person. I like sports, but I'm not really that type of. I'm not athletically built that way, and I'm not athletically inclined. But I like to try stuff. So we go to Top Golf. I think I had the lowest score out of everybody, but it didn't matter. We had a ball. We played golf, mini golf. We ate. We had a good time just bonding. That's that creativity that Dr. Brandon and Dr. Wendy are talking about. So it says, from a neuroscience perspective, this is Dr. Wendy. She views creativity as a form of information processing that can be spontaneous, it can be deliberate, emotional, or cognitive. So accessible to many, it grows through attentiveness to the world, openness to new ideas, engaging in play. Hey, Christy, how you doing? Christy Vickers, how you doing? It's been a long time since I talked to you. Oh my goodness. And embracing and learning from different challenges. And you know, life is full of learning, but learning doesn't always have to be difficult. It could be fun. So again, we're talking about how we're activating our 2024 by this week by embodying our creativity. So let's move on to the origins of creativity. Okay. And let me make sure Christy said, hey. So it says, according to Dr. Wendy, once again, creativity often stems from processing our emotions. It can arise from pain and emotional trauma, offering insights from grief and growth after hardship. Now, thus creativity serves both proactively in warding off negative emotions and reactively in navigating through them, through negative emotions. So philosophically, creativity benefits are clear. Many believe that we were created, and in being so, we embody characteristics like consciousness, logic, rationality, and uniqueness. So when we activate these traits, our health and our well-being start to flourish, and often benefiting other people who are attached to us, like if we're married, our spouse. If our children, they're impacted in a great way through this. So reflect on what makes us unique. Okay. And I want y'all to pause right now and think about what makes you unique. Now we all have similar traits. A lot of us can cook, but it don't mean that we all cook the same way. It don't mean that we all like to cook either. But a lot of us can cook. But let's think about something creatively that we do uniquely ourselves. Okay, how do you like expressing your uniqueness to the world? Focus on these aspects and share them with other people. And the platform, instrument, tool, or method does not matter. What's important is to engage in your creativity wholeheartedly, frequently, and with others in mind. I'm going to pause here again. I crochet like a lot of people. I knit and I crochet, but I crochet a lot of times. It's a creative way, but it helps me to wind down. So before I go to bed at night, a lot of times I start crocheting. I'll crochet something. God has blessed me and showed me he shows me what to make and how to make certain things. My latest projects with crocheting is I'm making doggy apparel. So I have different clients from my Starbucks. They have gotten doggy apparel for their dogs. Of course, I made some for mine and then for my grandpup. And so that's the newest thing. But I have learned how to creatively make any and everything almost crocheting wise. My next thing is learning how to sew. And I mean, I got my sewing machine. I've learned the basics, but I have to really, 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 and it is a wind down. I'm enjoying it. Although it's new, I'm enjoying doing it. So me learning how to steady my hands and how to sew whatever I'm sewing in a straight line is challenging, but I still enjoy it. So there are some things that you're creative with, and continue to do it. Do it to wind down. Hey, hi Gaga, how you doing? So start doing what you're gifted at, what you're creative. Some people write, some people sing. Hey, Ontaria, how you doing? Some people write, some people sing, some people do beats. Whatever you're creative at, especially when you're starting to be stressed. If you have some time, as long as it's not at work or anything like that, take a few minutes and just do something creative that will help settle your mind. So again, we're talking about activating your 2024 this week. We're talking about through your creativity. So now let's talk about our subconscious mind power. And let's talk about how it's explained. And I got to move quick because this time is moving fast. So our subconscious mind is like a huge memory bank. Okay. It permanently stores everything that ever happens to us. Okay, and its capacity is virtually unlimited. So that's good. So we're better than computers, guys. We're better than AI. Now our mind, now we have to tap into it, but again, it's our capacity, our mind capacity is virtually unlimited. Okay, so by the time that we reach the age of 21, we've already permanently stored more than 100 times the contents of the entire Encyclopedia Britannica. So under hypnosis, and I talked about that, a little bit of that last week. I don't practice that because I'm more of a Christian counselor. I'm a cognitive behavioral therapist. So I do hands-on type of therapy. I don't do the hypnosis. But under hypnosis, people can often remember with perfect clarity past events that has happened many years before. I know that this does work. Like if I decided to work for the police department or the GBI or something, then I would have to go on and get my specialty in hypnosis because this helps with crime scenes. And so, like I said last week, hypnosis is not a bad thing. I just don't practice it. All right. So it says, but why don't we actively recall everything our subconscious mind holds on to? So while our unconscious memory is virtually perfect, it is our conscious recall that is kind of suspect. So the exciting news is that when we can use our conscious minds to reprogram our subconscious minds and harness the power of positive thinking to overcome negative thoughts and bad habits to achieve all of our lives' dreams. Now, again, I started out last week talking about the RAS, our reactive, our reticular activating system, which is in the back of our brain. It's a bundle of nerves, and all of that has and what that does in our brain, it's the motivation, it's the where we remember. So, and it's also when we are awake and sleep things. So if it's something that, if our reticular activated system ever got damaged, that's when a lot of people experience sleep apnea. Some people experience schizophrenia. Then you have some cases with ADD, ADHD, where, you know, that memory is affected. But we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about activating our RAS and how to keep ourselves motivated and going. All right. So what Dr. Wendy says, she says, let me show you what is your conscious mind versus your subconscious mind. Let me move this along because our time is moving by quick. What is our conscious mind versus our subconscious mind? And it says the conscious mind can be described as whatever we're currently aware of, whatever we're feeling, whatever we're doing, whatever we're seeing, whatever we're touching, whatever we're experiencing. That is our conscious. We're conscious of it, and that's our conscious mind. Our consciousness does not involve stored information, though. Okay, it is what is happening right now. So it does involve thinking and making decisions, but it is easy to control our conscious mind because we're able to use it to make choices, like right now choices, that type of thing, the consciousness. But in contrast, our subconscious mind is always working in the background. All right. But we're not necessarily aware of, actually, you know how if you sit down and you really think about something that you experienced, and you have to sit back and take a minute and say, wait a minute, did I see or did I hear something? Like if you was in a room with people and you take a few minutes and think about it, and then you'll remember like, oh, wow, I was actually doing this. But I do remember hearing or seeing out maybe the side of my eye, seeing this happen. So that's what Dr. Wendy is talking about, our subconscious mind, how it's always there in the back of our mind, what we've seen or what we've experienced. All right. So she said our subconscious mind is always working in the background. Hi, Cole. How you doing? Good to see you. We are talking about activating our 2024 this week by being creative. So that's my challenge to you, Cole. Go on and keep being creative, man. All right. So, sometimes called the unconscious mind, our subconscious mind contains all of the stored information of everything that we've ever experienced. Once again, because of this, it influences how we react to things. You know how we're triggered? All of us have a trigger that we can be triggered by something. That's due to our subconscious mind. Okay. So, it influences how we react to things, such as why we're maybe shy, lazy, eat too much, or have an addiction. That's the subconscious mind. On the positive side, our subconscious mind also affects things like why we are motivated, why we're confident, why we are successful, why we're cheerful, and why we're hopeful, and so on. Now, I tell y'all all the time, every time I come on, every quarter, I tell y'all I'm a glass half full type of person. I am not a glass half empty type of person, because I know that we can overcome anything. It may take some steps, more steps to do certain things to overcome it, but I strongly believe that we can overcome any situation. Okay. And so but that's my subconscious mind. Why am I like this? Because through my life experiences, I was blessed to be able to overcome a lot of different things. Some I've shared, some I choose not to share. But I know that with our mind and how God constructed our mind and how we can creatively think our way through something or think our way out of a box, we can overcome anything. So Dr. Wendy says how your subconscious mind operates. She wants to talk about that. Her theory has been proven on this. So she says every moment that we're awake, our five senses are taken in constant streams of information. These experiences are stored as memories, like a computer stores data. But we don't need to actively recall most of this information. In fact, once again, we probably forget 95 to 99% of our daily activities. However, we know these thoughts and images are still in our brain because hypnosis can bring it back, deep memories, and then we can sit there and we can think about it ourselves. She said, come on, Cole, you crazy. Come on, preacher. All right. So studies show that in the fields of psychology on how the brain works indicates that the experiences that we have shaped the way that we think, and it shapes the way that we act, especially experiences in our early childhood. So although we do not remember most of our life data, the unconscious data in our head influences 90 to 95% of our behavior. Okay, I'm gonna go, hey Keith, how you doing? I'm going to go back and say it again. The reason why I stand on certain principles, and I strongly believe that everybody can overcome things. Like I said, it may take a process for some people, but I strongly stand on the fact that we are overcomers. Why? Because of the things that I've experienced and I grew up under. I know if I can overcome certain things, that anybody can overcome certain things, because that's how we've been designed. Our brains have been fashioned to where we can think outside of the box. And stress doesn't help. It's a little hard to be creative when you're stressed out. But then when you're kind of trapped in a corner, you have no other choice but to think your way out of that backed up situation. All right. So Dr. Wendy says, hey, oh, good to see you too, Keith. So Dr. Wendy says that she says our subconscious mind could be compared to flying on a plane on autopilot. It's constantly running programs to control how we walk, how we sit, breathe, talk, and so on. So we don't have to think about these things. They just happen because information to do them is stored in our brain. This is our subconscious brain. So our subconscious mind has what is called a homeostatic impulse. All right. It keeps our body temperatures at 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, just as it keeps us breathing regularly and keeps our heart beating at a certain rate. So through our autonomic nervous system, it maintains a balance among the hundreds of chemicals that are in your billions of cells, so that our entire physical machine functions in complete harmony most of the time. So our subconscious mind also practices homeostasis in our mental realm as well. So by keeping us thinking and acting in a manner consistent with what we've done and set in the past. Okay, so our subconscious mind causes us to feel emotionally and physically uncomfortable too sometimes. Whenever we attempt to do something new or different, all right, or to change any of our established patterns or behaviors. So the sense of fear and discomfort are psychological signs that our subconscious has been activated, but it's been working to establish these behavior patterns in the background long before we ever notice these feelings. Okay. Hey, what did Gaga say? Be an overcomer. That's right, Gaga. We are overcomers. All right, so we can also feel our subconscious pulling us back towards our comfort zone every time we try to do something new. So even thinking about doing something different from what you're accustomed to doing, it's going to kind of make you feel a little tense or uneasy. But this is why forming new habits that will help us reach our goals, such as maybe following time management tips, or maybe tougher to implement at first, but once they become a habit or routine, they will stay in your comfort zone. So in doing so, you reprogram your subconscious to work in your favor. For instance, and this is something I can share. When I moved out of New York and moved down south, New York is New York, and I grew up in the city. So I was accustomed to being late everywhere. Okay, that's like a city thing, just being late everywhere you go. Well, when I moved down south and I looked at the culture that I was around, And I noticed wherever I was going, whether it was work or church or whatever like that, I noticed I was like the only one late all the time. And I started feeling very uncomfortable with that. Because it was embarrassing. It was humiliating. Everybody, I learned that Cole said you're talking some kind of good tonight. Thank you, Cole. And so I was embarrassed. I found out that a lot of people would get to wherever to the job or whatever 10 minutes early, 15 minutes early, 5 minutes early, but they wasn't getting there 5, 10, 15 minutes late like me. So I actually, again, I'm a Christian and I'm not pushing this on anybody else. That's just my belief, my foundation. I actually started praying about it. And then when I started praying about it, I used to watch HGTV a lot when I moved down here, and they had shows on HGTV that taught or gave strategies on everything, how to home, not only home decor, but how to become more time management. And I started watching these different shows showing different things that you can do to improve time management, so you can do what you have to, especially those of at the time I had small children. And I started incorporating the strategies that I was learning about on HGTV, packing things up the night before, like the baby's bags the night before, doing laundry and getting the kids' clothes out for the entire week. I started incorporating all kinds of stuff, doing laundry, and then while I'm washing them, folding them up and putting them away during laundry day, doing all kinds of stuff. Not just me, but teaching the children at the time, making your bed every morning and different things like that. And just getting in routines. And it was uncomfortable for a while because I spent a lifetime of just living a city life, jumping up and running and doing whatever, And so I moved in a slower environment, and I learned how to incorporate different strategies that help me function better, help my time management. And now sometimes I'm like 3-4 minutes late sometimes, but a lot of times I'm not. So for me to retrain my brain and retrain the things that because that foundation is everything. My whole foundation was being late and being unprepared. Now I'm definitely not unprepared. Trust me. And if something comes up, if something just comes out of the blue, guess what? I'm not unprepared even with that. I can jump up and I can figure stuff out, because 9 times out of 10, whatever I prepared for, it'll work in anything, whether something catches me off guard or not. It's easier for me to catch something or to jump and do something now, because I've incorporated these strategies, time management and organization and all of that. So changing habits, using your conscious mind to properly program your subconscious mind. And Dr. Wendy is talking about changing your habits. So she said, since our subconscious mind has such a great amount of control over our positive and negative behaviors, the key is to train our brain to produce more positive behaviors, what I was just sharing with you all. She said, this is where your conscious mind comes in. You can use your consciousness to reprogram or retrain your subconscious mind to do things that are more beneficial to your world now and for your future, like I shared I had to do for me. She said, do you have goals that you want to reach? Habits that seem impossible to overcome? Hopes for a dream job that would change your life, or a vision of the future that looks very different from today? Using your conscious thoughts to program your subconscious mind can bring you the success in all areas of your life that you're looking for. Last week, we talked about the laws of attraction. So that's retraining your brain, saying that, look, this is what I want in the future. I want this, and I'm going to work towards doing this. I'm going to work towards getting it. Okay. So Dr. Wendy said, let's start by doing these things. Number one, and let me keep this moving, make sure I'm moving it. Okay, here we go. Okay, she said, number one, recognize the roadblocks. First, you need to identify what is holding you back from achieving what you want to achieve. Okay, and we got to be truthful with ourselves. What's really holding us back? You just got to talk to yourself like that. What's the deal? What's really holding me back? A lot of times, what's holding us back is ourselves. Okay, let's just be honest. It's us, especially people that are grown. All of us are grown here. Cole said, okay, we all grown. And so a lot of people, when they get in their mind, I'm grown, I can do what I want to do. That is the biggest, that's the biggest self degrading thing that anyone could do to themselves. You are self-sabotaging yourself when you have that in your mind that I'm grown, I could do what I want when I want to do. Okay. So like I quoted last week. Okay, one of the quotes was, if you say you can or if you say you can't, either way you right. You can do it, you're right. If you can't do it, then you still right. Okay, that's the same thing here. Let's move away from self-sabotage. All right, so Dr. Wendy says, so what's limiting your thoughts and your fears? Okay, so if you desire to write a book, but you just can't seem to get started or finish, what is keeping you from doing it? Do you think that no one will read it, or you don't have enough time, or you're not a trained writer? Okay, so all of these thoughts are what you imagine to be true, but they're not necessarily true. So our unconscious minds have been programmed to respond that way. So, and your conscious choices also follow your mind. Roadblocks can also be physical barriers as well. Perhaps you want to lose weight, but you allow your habit of scrolling through social media for 30 minutes a day to fill the time that could be spent exercising. Think about the goals and dreams and find out what thoughts, habits, ideas, or barriers are keeping us from achieving them. So that was number one. Let's recognize our roadblocks. Number two, Dr. Wendy says, let go of limiting thoughts. Let go of these limited thoughts. Once you know what your limiting thoughts are, accept them, embrace them, and then let them go. Okay? Sometimes this requires us to bring pain to the surface. All right? Into your conscious mind so we can face it and then release it. All right. About being embarrassed or something. A lot of times embarrassment or shame is what stops a lot of people from doing it again. But listen, we accepted it, whatever. Okay, it happened. Let it go and move along. Perhaps you struggle with the ability to develop a trusting relationship, for example, but you realize that you did not have that modeled for you in your childhood. Okay, so when you understand what's causing your emotions, you can address it and find a better way to respond. So number two was let go of our limited thoughts. Number three said, set up the intention with your conscious mind. She said, Dr. Wendy says, now it's time to unleash the power of positive thinking and reprogram your subconscious. Your conscious thoughts and actions can reprogram your subconscious mind in a heartbeat. It don't take no time at all. A positive message can reprogram how we feel. We can heal the trauma, change habits that make our lives stagnant, and blossom into fulfilling our lives that focus on the things that matter the most to us. All right. So use your conscious mind to set an expectation of what will happen in your life. All right. For example, so when you're faced with a roadblock, say to yourself, even though I've done this in the past, I'm no longer going to do it now. Your subconscious mind will listen to it. And just as it has listened to all of the other input it has ever received over time, our subconscious mind has no choice but to follow what we're saying. It's no longer interested in the old habits because it has found a new habit. So the key is visualizing. We got to visualize what we want to happen. Having a plan for how we will react to the roadblocks, using this conscious mind to stay aware and recognize what's going on. We have to look at the triggers. We have to look at the stuff that trigger us and make sure we can help avoid it. And then choose to follow our plan in a moment. I have a scenario that I share all the time. I know someone who corrects themselves, who had to teach themselves how to correct themselves constantly. So when they're talking and they're telling a story, if they feel like that they're lying or they're swaying, they're not being truthful, they'll pause right there and say, you know what, I'm lying. Let me go back. That's not what happened. And they'll go back and correct it and say, this is what happened. And I find that, to me, that was such a wonderful example. Again, that's called a cognitive behavioral type of strategy that that person incorporated to help them hi Kiwi, how you doing? To help them to stay the course of being a truth sayer, not a liar. And so I give that example an awful lot. All right. So again, Dr. Wendy, number 3, she said, set up the intervention with your conscious mind. Number 4, let your subconscious mind take over. All right. Coco said, wait a minute, I'm lying. I'm telling you, they will stop right there. So wait a minute, I'm lying. I'm not telling the truth. Let me go back. This is what happened. And I love it because that is a therapy treatment that this person has used to help them be a truthful person rather than a liar. Okay, so number 4, Dr. Wendy says, let your subconscious mind take over. So the point is to eventually allow your conscious to relax and let your subconscious take over. So once you have given your unconscious the other way to respond, it will assume that it is the way it should respond all the time. Okay. Yes, it is a t-shirt, Cole. Yes, that is a t-shirt. Wait a minute, I'm lying. I know that's right. Okay. So when the right word, action, or idea, you have created a new way for your subconscious mind to search its data bank and find a positive, uplifting, and empowering way to respond. Now, we as Christians, we know the scripture says, let this mind be in you, which is also in Christ Jesus, who walks not after the flesh, but after the spirit man, after the spiritual things. And so I'm Christian. I'm not trying to push that on anybody else. But we as Christians, those that are Christians, we know that's some of the Bible texts that we stand on. Let this mind be in you, our subconscious mind. Let this mind be in you, which is also in Christ Jesus, which is purer, a truth. You know, Christ stood on truth, not that other dude, them lies. Okay, so this is once our subconscious mind begins to relax with our new walk, our new talk, the new way of living, it's gonna be coming not like first nature, just natural. Okay, so here's some positive tools that's gonna help us tap into our subconscious mind. Let me move this along. I think this. Okay, some positive tools that's going to help us tap into our subconscious mind. And Dr. Wendy says there are many things that we can do to reprogram our subconscious mind on a daily basis. Be proactive by incorporating them into our routine, like I just shared about the person who has started training himself. Go back and say, no, I'm lying. Nope, I'm lying. I ain't telling the truth. And go back and tell the truth. That's retraining your subconscious mind. All right. So number 1 is positive affirmations. We know positive affirmations, they really do work. Okay. Our subconscious minds make everything that we say and do fit a pattern consistent with our self-concept, our master program. Thank you, Cole. So this is why repeating positive affirmations. Now, again, as a Christian, one thing I stand on is I can do all things. I can do all things. I can do all things. Okay, we grew up learning about the little engine that could. I think I can. He went from I think I can to I know I can. I know I can. Those are positive affirmations. Okay, we were taught that as children reading little storybooks. I think I can. I think I can. I know I can. As Christians, I can do all things. I can do all things. Hey, Condi, how you doing? So, start every day with a positive affirmation. I do affirmations, but I do my Bible verses first. But positive, start with say one each time that we're faced with a roadblock or a challenge. Say a positive affirmation. So that's number 1. Number 2 is inspirational quotes. Okay, and that's us Christians. Inspirational quotes. So reading inspirational quotes are so that It's good to see you, Condi. It's so impactful for people that's committed to positive thinking. So by focusing our thoughts on uplifting words and ideas, our subconscious mind will begin to implement a positive pattern in our way of thinking and our outlook on life. All right. Apply these same principles by reading an uplifting article each day. Oh, I'm a Christian. A lot of us are Christians. We read the word of God. Okay. And that's inspiring to us. Reading helpful books relevant to our life goals, listening to educational or inspirational podcasts, and then watching a motivational video or film, or watching a sermon with us Christians. All right. So inspirational quotes, Dr. Wendy was saying these are great ways to retrain our subconscious mind, our RAS. Okay. So then there's Pareto principle. And I might be saying it wrong, Pareto, a Pareto or Pareto principle. So in life, 80% of the outcome of anything that we do is usually the result of 20% of our total effort. So that's the 80-20, guys. All right. So this is commonly called the Pareto principle. And it is very powerful once you understand this principle. All right. So follow this principle by making sure that the things that we do every day are those that will have the greatest impact on achieving our lives' goals. When we make these actions a priority, they no longer fall through the cracks. They no longer fall prey to procrastination. They no longer fall prey or overtaken by other activities. And then, of course, I want to reiterate about the SMART goals. Okay, so all of our habits and thinking and acting are restored in our subconscious mind. So it has memorized all of our comfort zones, and it works to keep us in them. So this is why it's important to make writing our SMART goals a regular habit. Over time, staying productive and focusing on all of the goals that will become part of our comfort zone. All right. Then the power of positive thinking. Again, I'm going to reiterate that. Gaga says I can do all things. That's right. That's right. The power of positive thinking. Again, we grew up reading the little engine that could, that book. I think I can. I think I can. I know I can. All right. The power of positive thinking. Again, I can do all things. I can do all things. So your subconscious mind is subjective. It does not think or reason independently. It merely obeys the commands that it receives from our conscious mind. So just as our conscious mind can be thought of as the gardener planting seeds, our subconscious mind can be thought of as the garden or fertile soil in which the seeds germinate and grow. All right. So this is why harnessing the power of positive thinking is important to the foundation of our entire thought process. All right. Our conscious mind commands our subconscious mind to obey it. So consciously, we're going to choose to feed our subconscious mind with positive, empowering thoughts. Okay. I'm going to pause here really quick. Ooh, my time. Ooh, I done ran over, but it's okay. It's all right. This is needed tonight. Y'all know, a lot of y'all know I wear different hats. And so I am a professional vocalist. I'm a professional singer. And I remember years ago doing a concert. I used to sing with Mariah. And doing a concert, and we at the time were working with Old Dirty B, ODB. Y'all know who that is. And he was like, "Yo, New York in the house." That's him. It's Brooklyn in him. So I got a chance to talk with him a little bit when we were behind stage and getting ready for the show at Madison Square Garden. And we were just waiting because our opening act was up, and so he came out of his dressing room. We were out and we were talking to different people that came to see us. And so he came and he kind of stood next to me. And so I looked over to him and I said, "Why do you call yourself ODB?" And he called himself, guys, I'm not cursing or anything, but his stage name was Old Dirty Bastard. And I asked him, "Why do you call yourself that?" And he looked at me. He said, "That's what my mother called me." He said, "So that's what I am." And I looked at him and I said, "No, sir." I said, "No, you're not. That is not who you are." And he stopped and he looked at me and I said, "No, sir, that's not who you are." And he stopped and he looked at me. And at that time, they was calling us to go on stage. But I will never forget the look on his face, because it was like a light bulb when I said to him, no, sir, that is not who you are. And it was like a light bulb that hit, like, I'm not. And Lord, I wish that y'all know he wound up passing, getting killed not too long after that. But my gosh, if he had an opportunity to be around more people that let him know that it doesn't matter, that's what your mama called you as a child growing up, it doesn't make it right. And if he could have had the opportunity to be around more people and go on and start some therapy, some CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, retraining his subconscious, retraining his brain, letting him know that he is not that, I strongly believe that young man would be alive today. That he would be alive today. So this is what this is talking about, with us retraining our subconscious. Our conscious can override whatever traumatic experience we had as children growing up. We don't have to stay in that mindset, in that rut. We can grow. We can evolve past any and everything negative and traumatizing. So Dr. Wendy talks about habits of highly successful people. She says, for those looking to expand your realm of comfort zones, she highly recommends considering the habits of successful people. The habits of successful people, as they are the patterns commonly adopted by the minds of great leaders. Can somebody please write that in the comments? You can look this up online. It's called The Habits of Successful People. If someone can please write it in the comments, because I can't right now. I can't write it and do all this at the same time. Look up The Habits of Successful People. Someone please put it in the comments. Dr. Wendy says that these patterns commonly adopted by the minds of great leaders and thinkers. So great leaders and thinkers, this is something that they practice. They go to the book or to the articles that says The Habits of Successful People. All right. They unlock the power of these behaviors. And will put one step closer to being able to make the same things happen in their lives. If someone could put, thank you, Cole. The Habits of Successful. Thank you, Cole. Yes, guys, look this up. That's your homework until Thursday. No, this is your homework for the entire week. I want you all to look up The Habits of Successful People and start looking at what, thank you, Helen. Start looking at it, how you can apply it to your own life. The Habits of Successful People. This is what most successful people, this is their guide to help them continue to improve and become greater and greater people. All right. So Dr. Wendy says that these habits include planning their days the night before. I shared that with y'all, that I had to learn how to do that. Numbering your priorities on your to-do list. Guys, I have my to-do list all the time. Even when I go grocery shopping, y'all, I have my list in my phone because I cannot stray away from my budget. I cannot blow my budget, y'all. Okay? And completing your most important task first. So you number what's the most important, and then you check it off as you go. So train your subconscious mind to create your best life. Because again, listen, we're not sitting on the sidelines, guys. Oh, thank you, Sister Charlotte. We're not sitting on the sidelines watching other people live their best lives. No, that's not who we were created to be. We were created to be the best. What is it? We're the head and we're not the tail. Again, I'm not pushing my religion on anybody. This is just my foundation. But I stand on the principles that I've learned and I've taught other people and that I still live by. We're the head and we're not the tail. We're the first and we're not the last. So we don't have to sit back and watch other people live their best lives. Okay, so it starts with retraining our brains. We can retrain our subconscious. Whatever we see, like I said last week, I know that the person messed up, whatever, but God still used them when he wrote that song. I believe I can fly. If I can see it, then I can be it. I can believe it. If I can achieve it, if I just do it, I believe I can fly. I probably messed all of that up. But guys, again, We don't have to sit back and watch people live their best lives. We're the head and not the tail. We're the first and not the last. It takes a lot of times us retraining the things that we do. Sometimes, we don't want to be that person that was sitting where everything flooded. We was in a little rowboat and God was sending people by to help them. But they didn't get in the big boat, so they didn't go and get rescued because it didn't come the way they thought it should come. We have to expand our mindset. We got to think outside of the box. And we have to realize that a lot of times the way it don't always come exactly the way we think it's going to come, but it don't mean that it's not going to happen. Okay, it don't mean it's not going to happen. Just continue to do what you have to do. Gaga says we are above and not beneath. Yes, amen. Yes, we are. So we have to continue. Thank you, Gaga, for putting the habits of successful people. We have to continue to grow and expand our thinking, learn, put ourselves in learning positions so we can continue to do the different. We ain't supposed to be broke. My pastor said on Sunday, a lot of us can pray people. We can pray them through. We can pray for them. We can pray. But Lord, if they needed some money or needed some aid, that's where most people, who are stuck in one mindset, they can't help you that way. And let me tell you something, somebody that's in need, they may or may not receive that prayer. But if you can put a little something in there or pay a bill for them, or if you can put some groceries in their house, or if you can do something like that, they will learn how to, it'll help them change their mindset like, okay. And we ain't got to be rich to do it either. We ain't got to be rich to do it either. Okay? There's different ways we can do things and grow. Sister Charlotte said, yes, we must see ourselves successful, self-talk. And she said, I'm the head and not the tail. That's right. That's right. So again, we have to, we can retrain our subconscious. And guess what? It doesn't matter how old or how young we are. Age is nothing but a number. It's nothing but a number. Listen, whatever we decide we're going to be, you can be 65 and say, guess what? I want to go and I want to become an attorney. You get the book, start studying, take the test yourself, pass it, and voila, you're an attorney at 66, 67. Age is nothing but a number. Whatever we see ourselves doing, we are always evolving. Do it, guys. We can retrain our subconscious mind. Dr. Wendy says, the more in tune with our subconscious we become, the closer we will be to breaking through to our success. All right. So again, this is our homework for the week. Get a hold of the habits of a successful person. Read it, look through it, and see how something in there you can incorporate in your own life. Let me move this on. And I'm going to pick up on part 2 on Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I ran over tonight, y'all. Our takeaway says, taking immediate action on our ideas is a powerful key to success. Taking immediate action, which means don't procrastinate. Freeing yourself from self-limiting beliefs or doubts is the first step to being primed for action. Again, it says, remember, taking immediate action on our ideas is a powerful key to success. Freeing yourself from self-limiting beliefs or doubts is the first step to being primed for action. Our quote for tonight is, is the worst enemy to creativity is self-doubt. And that's by Sylvia Plath. All right. The worst enemy to creativity is self-doubt. And that's by Sylvia Plath. Listen, I will see y'all Thursday evening. Normally I talk about adding all. I'm not. If there's a past, I am going to say this. If there's a past Counsel Today with Shanrae, that series that you missed or you just want to rewatch, go to my YouTube channel at Shanrae Price. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications, and then select any past series that you would like to watch. All right. I will see y'all Thursday night. We really ran over, but you know what? It's all good. It's all good. I'll see y'all Thursday night for part 2. We're going to exercise our creativity. All right. Y'all read The Habits of Successful People. I'm going to read it as well and decide what applies to yourself, because we are activating our 2024. Y'all have a blessed night. Good night. See you Thursday night.